I find that it is so easy for us that when we are doing something, we are often checking to see the progress of a thing. Yes. Now, let me say this before I even get into it. This is not for every single thing in your life. This is not for every area. This is for some things. Some things in your life, you have to stop checking the progress. You have to stop checking how it's doing and let it grow. Yes, we have to do this. We have to do this. So let me talk about it. I remember that I was planting a plant, and I was so nervous about this plant because I have never planted a plant before. And I was so nervous about it. And I was also excited about it at the same time. So I was nervous and I was excited to plant this plant. I bought the pot, I bought the soil, I bought the seed, and I just knew, okay, I'm going to plant this plant and it's all going to be good. Now, remind you, I had no clue of what I was doing. I never planted a plant before, but I looked up what was necessary for me to plant this plant. So I bought all the things that I needed and I began to plant this plant. And I put it in the soil, I put the little plant food in it, and I watered it according to, the instructions that was given to me. So because I was so excited, I just kept, all throughout the day, I kept looking at this plant. Every time I walked past my windowsill, I would look at it like, it's not growing yet? What's the matter? Why it's not growing? And it dawned on me that maybe I need to reach out to somebody with a green thumb that could maybe give me some advice to why this plant isn't growing. So I reached out to a friend of mine, and he told me, he said, what are you doing? I said, I'm watering it. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. And I gave him the rundown. And he said, stop checking it. Leave it alone and stop checking it. And when he said that to me, it made so much sense, because when I stopped checking it every single moment of the day, I started to see it sprout. And because I wasn't always looking, always trying to water it, always trying to find a way to push the growth faster than what it should be, I was able to properly give it the care that it needed. So I just want to encourage someone today, stop checking. Let it flourish, let it sprout, let it bloom the way it knows to. Because when something is planted, the right time will come when it will bloom and when it will blossom. It will start out as a sprout, and then it will bloom into what it should be. But like me, I kept just watering, moving and touching, and it started to lean over and it started to get brown because I kept touching and messing with it. So sometimes you have to stop checking it, whatever you're doing, and let it just take its course. Yes, we have to let it take its course. I'm not saying this to, say don't monitor things. Because, of course, when you plant something or when you're trying to grow something, yes, you are supposed to monitor it. It's very important that you keep watch of what's going on. But when I'm saying keep checking it is you can't keep checking for growth when something just started. You have to let it mature into what it is supposed to be. And what happens is this, beloved, many people get discouraged along the way. So I just want to encourage somebody today, because sometimes when we're trying to grow something or we're new to something, we could tend to get discouraged along the way because we don't see it flourishing the way we think it should. We can sometimes think, oh, well, maybe I didn't plant it right, or maybe I'm not giving it enough water, or maybe it don't have enough sunlight. No, beloved, sometimes you just have to stop checking and let it flourish. You have to know within yourself, I've given it what I was supposed to give it. I've planted it the way I was instructed and supposed to plant it. And now what I have to do is just care for it and stop checking. Yes, stop checking, beloved. That's just like someone who's on a diet. When you go on a diet or you try to, change your health regimen, what actually happens is this: you go on a diet, you start exercising, and the number one problem is this: we keep looking at the scale. We keep looking at the scale. And then what happens? We look at the scale. We see that the numbers aren't on the scale the way we want it to be. The numbers aren't going down, or the numbers aren't the way we think it should go. And what happened? We give up. we give up because we keep checking. But little do we know, our progress is not based on what the numbers are. Our progress is not based on what the scale says. Because anyone that knows that when you're losing weight or you're dieting, a lot of times you lose inches before you start to lose the pounds. Sometimes you start to lose inches before you lose the pounds. So you can't always focus on the numbers. So I just want to encourage somebody that if you're in business, if you're in ministry, if you're trying to do some type of weight regimen or any area that it could be in your life that you are waiting for progression, I just want to encourage you today, stop checking and let it take its course, beloved. It will happen and it shall happen as long as you follow the blueprint, as long as you follow the instructions, and as long as you have given it the proper care that is necessary. Beloved, I'm here to encourage you today. It will grow, and whatever it is, it will flourish. So if it's business-wise, stop checking the sales. Stop checking the transactions. Stop seeing, who bought and who didn't buy and what the numbers are. Stop. For those of you who may be, in different areas, let me look at the numbers. Let me look at the views. Let me look at the followers. Let me look at the likes. Stop it, beloved. Stop checking. And let the progression take its course. Stop looking at how far, where it is right now, and look at how far it has come. And as we see it little by little growing and we see it maturing, we begin to see and be encouraged by the growth of it. And everything don't grow at the same speed. Everything doesn't grow at the same height. Even when I was planting my plants, some plants grew straight up. Some plants grew to the side. Some plants started to tilt over. But that was the way it was supposed to grow. It wasn't that I was doing something wrong. It wasn't that, all plants got to grow straight up. No, some plants grow out. So we have to be very careful and we have to be very mindful that we don't get discouraged when things don't look the way we want it to look. Or when we say, I'm not getting nowhere. I'm not getting the numbers. I'm not getting the followers. I'm not getting the support. I'm not getting the sales. Nobody see me. Beloved, that's not what it's about. You just have to know that whatever it is that God has placed in your hand, you did what it was that God told you to do. Now just care for it, but stop checking. Stop checking the stats. Stop checking the sales. Stop checking the numbers. And most of all, beloved, don't start comparing yours to someone else's. Everything ain't for everyone. And just because you could have 5, you could have 10, somebody else could have 1,000, somebody could have 10,000. Let's be grateful for whatever God has given us. I often tell the Lord, whatever you placed in my hand, just help me to do it to the best of my ability, and don't let me look to the left or to the right. You got to look ahead, beloved. Look ahead and stop checking. 2 simple words. Stop checking. Many of us are starting businesses. We starting ministries. We're writing books and we doing this and we doing that. And sometimes it's a slow start sometimes. But guess what? The Bible clearly says, that you ought to be faithful over the little things. And then he'll make you ruler over many. Yes, beloved. So take care of the few. Take care of what we think is little. But it's a shame in this day and time that if you don't have the numbers, or if you don't have the followers, or if, it's not like the Joneses up the street, people think that's not progressing. Let me tell you something, beloved. Success is not counted by numbers of sales. It's not counted by numbers of followers. You know what success is counted by? The lives that are being changed. That's what matters to me. That's what matters to me. I remember even in ministry, one time, many times, I used to go out and I used to minister. And I've shared this before. And I used to be so happy and so excited because the people received it well. And I came back and I remember my overseer used to tell me, she didn't try to, bring down my excitement. But her question to me was who was saved, whose life was changed. Even if it was one person, it meant just as much as the 10,000, beloved. So even if you reach that one person with your business, even if you reach that one person with ministry, even if the life you live reach that one person and you be that example, beloved, that means much. Don't compare, and stop looking at the stats. Stop checking. Because guess what? The only stats that really matters is the stats in the kingdom, the stats that God is writing down in his book. That's the only stats that matter, beloved. So I just wanted to encourage you today to keep going, keep caring for the baby that God has placed in your lap and in your care, and know that it's going to flourish, it's going to bloom, and it's going to prosper the way God set forth.